What's up, everybody? It's Igo. Let's talk about Nintendo's first $80 game. So, Mario Kart World is a very hot topic right now in gaming because it is Nintendo's first $80 game, and while the $70 price point has been kind of the norm for a while in some other markets, this is a first for Nintendo breaking into the $80 market. Now, we did have Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom be their first $70 game, and they did a very good job of explaining why that game was at that price point. With Mario Kart World, we haven't seen so much of that argument, so I'm hoping here with this Direct as we watch through it that we see a little bit of a better argument from Nintendo on why this game is $80. Right out the gate, it looks great. Game looks fantastic, graphics are really good. I think that's a much needed change, especially now that this game is at 4K. So we're getting a look at some of the gameplay, just kind of B-roll shots. The cow's going to be fun to play as. We got Shy Guy. I think these water maps are going to be really interesting. I also think, like, the bottom side of the map here, you're probably going to be able to traverse as we get to travel this whole world. All right, so here's our first look at all the different courses. So I do think it's neat that they make, like, a Mario Kart World out of this. I mean, that's what the game is called. But it makes it feel more like all of the Mario Kart maps are part of the same game and competition, and it's all one big Nintendo thing. So these maps look really cool, and they're going to be so much fun to, like, explore these areas just on your own. I can already see all of the YouTubers making the videos on all the hidden spots that you can find and grab bags for costumes that you get to wear. I'll be making some of those myself even, because I think that's just going to be a lot of fun. I used to have my camera up here. I'm not used to it being centered anymore. I've changed setups. Love the look of the penguin. That does not look good flying off the map like that. I don't think he should be happy. I love all the ghost outfits. I wonder if there's, like, matching outfits for each map. That seems what we're looking at here. We're getting a lot of new maps here, which is really cool. And a lot of these new maps, I think, are a result of a lot of the new mechanics that we're seeing in this game, so we're riding on the rails. Let's take a look at this map here. So this is some of the different courses that we are looking at here in the different regions. Based on how big a Mario Kart map is on average, so say we're looking 3 to 5 minutes a race, this is some pretty exciting stuff in here in terms of how big this world is actually going to be. When Nintendo was marketing this game at $80, we have to think about the fact of what are they giving us in terms of this game. So one, they're just giving us Mario Kart, and we can play with 24 people with tons of new stuff. But they're also giving us this world here that we get to endlessly explore. We're looking more at open world games more and more as the recent years, especially Nintendo sparking that with Breath of the Wild. So here's hundreds of hours possibly that they're giving you just here alone outside of the racing aspect of it. And from my understanding, you do have to actually unlock these maps in order, or complete the races in order to unlock these regions. That's a lot of gameplay in it of itself. We get lots of new characters. I think that's a welcome change. Although I think they kind of had to. With 24 racers, they're going to need more options. So there's some of our classic characters. Goomba. Spike. Cow. I like how they're running into the cow joke from the Direct. Everybody freaked out about that. Why is there a flamingo? It's so random. It's like the fish. It's so random. I just don't get it. I do wish we still had vehicle customization. I am a little bummed about that. Maybe they'll add it in the future, but probably not. Would have liked to have seen vehicle customization in this one. I really liked that about 8. Okay, so we've got the 2 different types, Grand Prix and Knockout. Okay, so we've got lots of new hazards here. We've got Hammer Bros. We've got the rockets that shoot out of the back of the cars. Now, the lanes are wider in this game, as we can see. So I don't think they're going to be quite as bad, and even if you do hit them, it doesn't look like it's completely debilitating. Then we have our good old Grand Prix races. So they're showing us the different cups here, and we can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cups. Just like any other Mario Kart game, there's always going to be an 8th cup that's probably hidden when you get to the end here. 4 races a cup. Pretty straightforward stuff. Another reason they may have widened some of these racing lanes is for 24 players. I mean, that's just a lot of people on the track. I love the airplane mode. I think that's a cool way to get through the air opposed to the gliders that we had in the previous game. They could have kept the gliders, but they decided to do something new, which I think is really cool here. Here's our 8th track. So there's going to be some kind of special rainbow course here at the end. Tour. I'm excited for this. This is going to be a fun way to destroy your friendships with your friends. So essentially here, there's going to be checkpoints that you have to pass through. And if you don't pass the certain number at the checkpoint, you get dropped out, kind of like a Mario Kart Battle Royale. Which is going to be super fun. Strive to survive. I think that's a bit dramatic. Love the crown if you're in first place, although it does kind of put a giant target on you. I wonder if you keep the crown from like race to race if you're still winning. Probably, right? So here's the look at the new items. Coin shell. So if you're behind in the race, I think this is going to be super handy to catch yourself up and gain some speed off the coins. Although if you're not careful, your opponents can take advantage of it. Ice flower. I think that's a cool, fun change. The hammer has got some crazy range. Like, look how far this thing goes. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 13 cart lengths. That's pretty darn far. This thing's just funny. This thing's just hilarious. The feather's going to be really handy. That's going to be definitely one that you're going to be holding on to, especially if you're in one of the upper places to keep yourself alive. I don't like Comet because I think it's annoying in the other games, but I do think this is a pretty funny gimmick here. Typical stuff. If you're later in the race, you get stronger items. Like how they changed the lightning mechanic. I think that adds a breath of fresh air to things. I don't think anyone's new to Mario Kart, but support features are definitely appreciated here. All right, let's go back here and look at this list. All right, smart steering, auto accelerate, auto use item, tilt controls, vertical camera, and horizontal camera. So from my understanding, you can actually mirror your, or flip your camera controls if you really wanted to. I don't know what use case you would have for that, but it's there. Auto accelerate smart steering, that's great for younger audiences so they can still play the game without falling off the track. It gives them some accessibility, or if you're just not very good. Great for littles. I'm not a huge fan of tilt controls. I've never used them, but I do think they're pretty fun. If you are looking at the Joy-Con wheels, there's tons of third parties that have already come out for these. Or like I got the wheels for my Switch 1 for like my little cousins, and they enjoyed playing with them. I hate those cows. I've been doomed by those cows so many times. Oh, so now we're looking at some of the free roam stuff, just getting around. Oh, here's the grab bags. So something I wonder about the grab bags is if every time you go through like a Yoshi's that's in a specific location, if you're going to get a different grab bag each time, and if those grab bags are specific to maps that you've unlocked. So essentially we were talking about earlier how certain costumes might go with certain races, and so we might be having to complete certain races in order to unlock those outfits. I do appreciate that you can select your outfit at the character selection screen if you've already unlocked it. You don't have to go and get a grab bag to get your costume and then go race, because that would be pretty cumbersome. I actually do like the pirate. That's pretty cool looking. All right, so these are new mechanics specifically to Mario Kart World that we're going to have to learn. So these are new mechanics, because I feel like most of the Mario Kart games in the past several games have been very similar mechanically. So we can jump over things, we can ride rails, power lines. Oh, the rails can dodge? I wonder if that gets you out of a red shell. Wall riding is going to be cool. I bet there's a lot of shortcuts you can get out of that. This feature, they're a little unclear on it in the Direct. This is only available in single player. Although I do think it's pretty interesting that if you do use the rewind feature, I think they show it here later. Right here. If you use the rewind feature, everybody else still keeps racing ahead of you. It doesn't like pause the game like you would think. So it can put you at a little bit of a disadvantage, but it's single player, so who really cares? Let's take a look at modes. Time trials, those are nothing new. I'm curious to see what kind of speed runs people are going to be doing with time travel so that go across the different maps. Online modes, that's probably where I'm going to spend most of my time competing with other real humans. All right, so here's some different rules that we can use. These look fairly what we know. We get to choose how fast we're going, teams, items, comm, difficulty, course selection, race count. So you can choose to do it traditionally, where you play course back to back to back, or you can drive to each course as you're playing in between. I think it just depends on how much time you have on your hands. All right, let's take a look at this. So we can have up to 4 teams with 24 drivers, which is pretty cool. That's crazy. This is going to be a really fun way to compete with your friends. Or if you went to like LAN parties, you could even have like a Mario Kart race team and go and compete with other teams. I think that'd actually be a lot of fun. Familiar with balloon battles? That's been around since 64. These game modes will be fun. I'm not sure how much I'll play of them, but definitely neat. Oh, rip the dragon. Poor Yoshi. All right, free roam. This is where we're getting a lot of extra gameplay. I think this is also good if you want to like practice mechanics or certain spots of certain maps. Because from my understanding, you can free roam not only around the world, but through the actual racetracks if you want. Notice how quick that transformation was. Like, this game looks smooth. If they're going to make it $80, right, it's got to look clean. It's got to play great. There can't be any bugs or faults in this when it releases, or people are just going to chew Nintendo alive. It looks like there's some hidden coins. I'll be making a video on those for sure. Hidden panels. I'm wondering what these coins and panels might unlock you, if it's different outfits. If you need the coins to like pay at Yoshi's for a grab bag, you never know. Photo feature will be fun if you're into like making Mario Kart World backgrounds. Something I am hoping for the Switch 2 is to have backgrounds on like your home screen, and maybe you could use screenshots from the games you play as like your home screen. That'd be a really cool use case for this. Come on, Nintendo, like how long have we had consoles, and every other console has abilities to customize your home screen, but y'all, let's get on this. This would be a great use case to really get people on the picture button here, and the picture mechanic of this game is editable home screens. Okay, so we got 4 players per screen. That's pretty typical. So we can do wireless local play. So we can have up to 16 in LAN, is what they're telling us here. So we can have 8 consoles with 2 people on each console for a LAN party if we wanted to do local play. I was hoping for more. That way we could do like a 24-person LAN party, and I'm sure that is possible. If you do online play, you can get 24. So this, I think, is a lot of fun. So while you're waiting for your friends to join your game, you can roam the world however you want, and you can be in different parts of the world before the game starts. So say you are playing specific tracks with your friends and battling it out. You could, you know, be practicing a jump on one track over and over and over before the race starts, before they even join, and get a little bit of a warm-up before you play. Or if you just want to roam around with your friends in the world, I don't know how much I would do of this unless we were maybe looking for, like, specific items in a speed run kind of battle to see, like, who could collect all the coins around the map the fastest or something like that. Game chat. So this was one of the big features that they talked about with this new console, being able to use the built-in microphone on the Switch and stream your game to others. And here we do see that the stream is, you know, a little laggy. It's not perfect. It's a low resolution, but I do appreciate that they're not lying about it. Like, they are showing you probably what it's going to look like, and it may be smoother than that, right, if everybody has a good internet connection, and then those of you who don't have a good internet connection might be seeing some of that lag. So what that's really going to look at, we'll have to experiment with once we get to our hands on the Switch. This is funny, being able to see their reactions while you're playing. If you're in the room together, I don't know how necessary this is. I think it's a little goofy. Because especially, like, this to me, like, their faces is in the way of my view of seeing what's happening in the race ahead of me, so I'm not sure if that's my favorite feature there. This looks so crazy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm assuming it's 4 rows of 6 for the 24. This looks like so much fun. Now, do I think this is an $80 game? Do I think they sold it as $80? Not really. I think it is a good upgrade from the original Mario Kart 8 on the previous Switch, but I don't think that it's worth that giant $80 price tag. So if you are planning on picking up Mario Kart, which most of you probably are, I'd just pick it up in the bundle. I think it's totally fair at $50, but the $80 is a pretty steep price tag. Now, we are going to be seeing, oh my gosh, my cat is saying hello. Hi. We are going to be seeing more games at this inflated price tag at $80. This is definitely not going to be Nintendo's last game at this price. Or, for example, your Switch 1 games that you purchase for $60 that are being upgraded to Switch 2 versions for an extra $20 end up being $80. So I think that's just kind of the norm that we're at now. I'm super excited for this game. I'm going to play the heck out of it. Is it worth $80? Probably not, but get it in the bundle. Save yourself $30 and enjoy playing the game. I'm super excited for this new console to come out. This video is just meant to be quick. Look at the Direct. And get some excitement up for this upcoming game. If you've watched all the way through this point, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel a lot. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.